Hello everyone, I've had a brilliant idea. I've started something called Creative Clips, and they are little snippets of information that I'm sure will really interest you, ranging from materials that I use in my work, techniques that I use in my work, framing, canvases, materials, you name it. That's what I'll be filming for you, and they're all free to watch. And if you really enjoy the look of one of them, you know, a lot of them are used in my workshops, and that's why I thought I'd show you a little taster. And if you click on the link below, that will take you over to my Vimeo channel, where you can purchase a one-off workshop that you can keep for as long as you want. There's no monthly fees, there's no anything to join, there's no Patreon channel. It's just a one-off, very reasonable payment, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Hello everyone, and welcome to another of my clips from my creative clip collection. Today I thought I'd talk about Crackle paste. I use Crackle paste so much, and it's one of my favourite mediums, and it's in a lot of my work, and I know once you have a try you'll be hooked like I was. So Crackle paste is really meant to be applied to canvases, but it can be applied to paper, and this is with watercolour as well. This is the most unusual thing to do. You know, it was all for canvas and oils and acrylics, etc. But anyway, I discovered you could put it on paper depending on what paper, what Crackle paste and what paints you used. Works best with opaque paints. So I just thought I'd talk about the one I use. I'm not discussing any other one because this Crackle paste is my favourite. It's by Deco Art Media, and it's just called Crackle paste. It's available online. There's lots of various manufacturers do Crackle paste, but I find this is my favourite and the best one. It's the only one that works on paper, by the way, and I've tried them all. So how to apply it? You know, I get lots and lots of emails and messages. How do you use Crackle paste? So what you have to do, you can either use a canvas or a board, or I'm using just a cheapish handmade paper, and I'm putting it on with a cheap palette knife, a plastic one. And what you must not do is mess around with it, so you put it on and leave it, right? The thicker you get it, the bigger the cracks, so the finer you get it, the thinner on the paper, the smaller the cracks. So I'm going to make that area really thick there, and like that. You know, you can have something in mind, like if you're doing a seascape with some rocks or anything, or you can just apply it as just being incidental in your painting, but will give you a really atmospheric effect. And when people look at your painting, they'll think, oh, I love that little bit there, how she's used Crackle paste. So it's as simple as that. You just put it on like that, then you leave it to dry. In about 3 hours it's usually cured, but to be on the safe side I'd say overnight. So when you've done that, the next day or a few hours later you'll have something like this. So can you see how thick those cracks are there? And that's where I left the thicker Crackle paste, and then I did it a little bit thinner. I applied it a little bit thinner to the right hand side, and then you just you can see here I've used it in a seascape, and I've used it as rocks with paint and inks, and it's lovely to pick out just one or two odd big crackles, and with gold or a pale colour that really show up, you know. So I just put a little bit of paint on to show you what it's like. So I'm just going to wet all over. And inks work very well with it as well. Now if you find your watercolours don't take very well, you can always apply watercolour ground on top if you wanted to, but it's not really necessary. I don't find it necessary every time, but opaque colours tend to work better, they cover better. So let's say I'm aiming for a seascape again, so I've got this opaque royal blue here. Can you see it's covering, and when it dries that'll stay like that. And I'm bringing it down here, but the real magic happens when you add ink. So I'm just got a little bit too wet. So if I add some sepia ink, can you see that? Look at that, wow, all that's happening there. What a magical thing that is. And then this is turquoise ink, so what I'll do with this, I won't put it on in an ordinary way like that, although I could do. I'll use a brush, dip it in the turquoise ink. These are FW acrylic inks, by the way, and I'll paint one or two little areas that I really want to stand out. Just pick out one or two little cracked pieces, and it works wonderful with a gold bronzing powder, which is another one of my little collection of creative clips. And I can show you on there how you use that. So let's just run that down a little bit, and then what I do then when it's dry is go back into opaque paint and apply that when it's dry, and it will cover the white just like it did on this one. Hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you try it, because it is a wonderful thing to do. And I've got one or two workshops on my Vimeo channel that you can watch me do a workshop on, and if you click on the link below, it will take you straight over to the Vimeo library where you can purchase one of the workshops and see for yourself, and that, you know, you can watch a free introduction. It's a one-off payment, very reasonable payment. You can watch it as many times as you like. You don't have to join anything, any monthly club or Patreon channel or anything, and I'm sure you'd really enjoy it.